Good Day Orlando starts now with breaking news.
And that breaking news is coming out of Seminole County this morning, where an apartment fire has left one child dead. The questions we are asking investigators this morning.
And strong storms moving into Central Florida. This is a Fox 35 storm alert day. We're going to time out the potential severe weather. Brooks saying it's coming this afternoon. Those details straight ahead for you. Welcome to the 6 o'clock hour and what's become a busy Wednesday morning here. I'm Ronnie Lodge.
We certainly do have a busy news day for you this morning, but we do want to start with Fox 35 storm team meteorologist Brooks Garner on this storm alert day. Brooks, good morning.
Good morning, Danielle. We've got a quiet morning ahead, a breezy one, but this afternoon, thunderstorms rolling in, and some could be severe with 60-mile-per-hour plus wind gusts inside the storms. Ocala's highest chance for impactful severe weather will be from noon to 2, and Orlando from 2 to 5 p.m. Heads up, that means for the school pickup, there could be delayed releases if there's lightning present, and we're looking ahead to the likelihood of a wet evening commute and maybe a stormy one. Just in, a brand new tornado watch issued for the Panhandle. This does include Dixie County, including Cross City and Horseshoe Beach until 1 p.m. We may see these tornado watches extended further. This encompasses our Fox 51 WOGX viewership, where we simulcast our newscast out of Gainesville. For our region, a severe weather threat likely from I-10 all the way south through Osceola County and northern Brevard, with a lower threat as you go south. But again, quiet morning, stormy afternoon. There's even a tornado threat. It's a low threat, but it's not a complete zero threat. Outside chance, marginal risk for a tornado. Highest threat will likely be within a few miles of the beaches on the Atlantic side. That said, here's a look at our radar. We've got a line of storms from the Carolinas into our Panhandle with a tornado warning right now for Bay County. This includes Panama City Beach moving northeastward, about to cross the I-10 corridor. So active weather in Florida. Here's a live view out of the Panama City Beach area. You can see the lightning flashing, the street lights blowing in the wind. Cars driving, but a stormy morning there in the Panhandle. Lots of lighting and lots of wind. Look at our Fox Weather Alert System going crazy with all of these severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. We're looking at a high today of 85 degrees, a windy day outside of the storms. Coming up, I'll show you a future radar so you can plan your day accordingly. First off, though, let's take a look at our Skyfox traffic with Jessica Dobson. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, Central Florida. I think my voice is still waking up, but we do have this incident, still a crash reported on Dairy Road heading southbound near Palm Bay Road. So if this is on your normal commute, keep that in mind. You might run into some delays. So far, we're not seeing a ton popping up on our map. We're still seeing a good amount of green, which that's always good news to see there. We're also keeping a close eye on Champions Gate. That's one of the only other spots that we do have some delays to report at this time, at least in terms of some backups. And this is pretty typical of that area. In fact, we're actually still in the green, but you can see our camera's a little on the blurry side, but we have been seeing some stop and go traffic, especially near the specific Champions Gate area. But the rest of the drive time heading towards downtown Orlando looking like it's in the green as well. About a 25-minute drive time compared to your usual 23-minute drive time. So we'll continue to keep you posted on those delays and incidents all throughout the rest of this morning. But Ryan and Danielle will send it back to you for now.
All right, Jessica, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Your time is 6:01. We want to let you know that you can depend on Fox 35 to help keep you informed anytime severe weather hits. Be sure to download the Fox 35 Storm Team weather app if you have not done so already. All you have to do is scan the QR code you see right there on your screen. That will give you live radar, hour-by-hour forecasts, and real-time alerts when lightning strikes.
Let's get back to our breaking story we've been following since early this morning. A child is dead at an apartment fire in Seminole County. I want to show you the video sent to us by a viewer. Officials confirming the tragic news to us about 3 this morning. We do want to show you where the fire happened in Seminole County, north of Ballard Street, east of Maitland Avenue. It's in Altamont Springs, not too far from the mall there.
Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie joining us live near the scene. Amanda, good morning to you. Fire officials say quite a few families are now without a home, not to mention the tragic loss of life in terms of that young child.
That's certainly right. More than a dozen units were affected by this fire from smoke and water as well. And then one family is sadly mourning the loss of a child. We don't have many details right now about that child other than this was a preteen. Again, officials have confirmed one child has sadly died as a result of this apartment fire. The fire chief tells us there were no other reported injuries. This fire is now under control, but crews will be out here for some time to continue continue to monitor for any hot spots, and the state fire marshal will be out here to investigate the cause of this fire. That is still undetermined, but for now they have told us that it does not appear that there were any working smoke detectors inside. So crews say that they are going to make it a point to visit all of the units in this area to make sure they have those moving forward. And as far as those families that have been displaced this morning, the American Red Cross is on the scene assisting. Reporting live in Altamont Springs, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
We will continue to follow every development of that story. Amanda, thank you so much. 6:04 is your time right now. A Fox 35 update. A high-speed chase that went halfway across the state of Florida ends with an arrest. The suspect slammed his minivan into a concrete median on John Young Parkway. But here are the details on this story. Investigators say the chase originally started near Tampa. 48-year-old Walter Medina is accused of holding a woman captive and assaulting her with a wooden baseball bat. She was eventually able to escape, and when deputies later tried to arrest Medina, he sped off. Medina now faces 9 charges this morning, including second-degree attempted murder.
In Osceola County, an argument between 2 neighbors in Point Siena ends with a deadly shooting. This is what the scene looked like when deputies first arrived on Birmingham Drive. Investigators say someone shot their neighbor around 10:30 in the morning after the two got into an argument. The victim later died at the hospital. The deputies brought a suspect in for questioning, but at this point, no charges have been filed.
A powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake rocks the entire island of Taiwan. At least 4 people were killed when that quake struck the island of 23 million early this morning. Video shows collapsed buildings and people rushing to help one another. A tsunami of up to almost 10 feet was felt on the Japanese island group of Okinawa as the result of the earthquake, right?
Oh, it's just an awful scene there. Meanwhile, a dual U.S.-Canadian citizen among those killed by an Israeli airstrike that targeted foreign aid workers in Gaza. The strike killed 7 people in total. Israel said the attack was unintentional, although its own military allowed the group passage into the Gaza Strip. The aid workers belong to the group World Central Kitchen. Members from the UK, Australia, and Poland were also killed in that airstrike. World Central Kitchen has been leading efforts to get food to displaced Palestinians. Now, because of the attack, the charity is suspending operations in Gaza. Western countries are calling for a full investigation.
We've impressed upon the Israelis the absolute imperative of doing more to protect innocent civilian lives, as well as to get more humanitarian assistance to more people.
Well, according to the UN, they say nearly 200 aid workers have been killed in Gaza since the start of that war. Meanwhile, Iranian state media claims the U.S. has some responsibility for an alleged airstrike that killed 2 Iranian generals in Syria. Now, several others were also killed in the strike. U.S. officials have distanced themselves from the attack, saying they had no involvement.
We are now 9 minutes after the 6 o'clock hour, and today marks 8 days since a cargo ship crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge, causing that deadly collapse in Baltimore Harbor. Crews continue to work around the clock to try to clear this channel, but right now a tangled pile of steel and debris in the harbor is blocking the vital shipping channel. Underwater, officials say the problem is just as complicated. Crews will have to cut through a twisted mess and then lift it from the bottom of the river to the top.
What we're seeing in the water is that the wreckage has been completely collapsed. Some people use the term pancaked.
One clear sign of progress is an alternative channel that opened up on the north side to let certain vessels through. Officials say for now, though, it will mostly be used to bring in supplies for the cleanup. A second channel on the south side is still being worked on right now, so there's no word on when the bridge and the ship will be removed from the harbor. 10 minutes now after the hour, and happening today, divers and drivers will want to take it slow in some parts of Lake County as they dive into traffic.
Yes, they do. You don't want to dive into a big ticket, though. The city of Eustis is going to start ticketing people if they're caught on camera speeding near schools. So for the last few weeks, cameras near Eustis have been in a warning phase, which means no one was ticketed. Starting this morning, that changes, though. Anyone caught going 10 miles over the speed limit, you're going to be sent a $100 ticket. The cameras will be in operation on school days at 7:30, so in about an hour from now, until 3:30 in the afternoon each day. So keep that in mind on school days. All right, still ahead on Good Day Orlando, a woman's trip to the beach in Brevard County gets expensive.
So what she did not know that ended up costing her big. We've got that story for you just ahead, plus some wild moments for some bank employees. Take a look here as the chaotic seconds unfold after a deer breaks in.
Plus, we anticipate potentially severe weather later this afternoon. We're going to talk about that. Some states to our north, they got blasted. Look at the strong winds in Kentucky there. Sent a student flying. We're going to check in with that. But right now, let's get you to break with Brooks Gardner.
Now, we've got a Fox 35 storm alert day for this afternoon. It's going to be a gusty, but otherwise quiet morning, followed by a likelihood for some severe storms with gusts past 60 miles an hour this afternoon. I'll break it down for you hour by hour so you can plan accordingly.
The high-low temperatures on Fox 35 News are sponsored by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network.
Hi there, did you just buy this TV?
Yeah.
How much did you spend on that TV?
It was $4.98.
Can we buy your TV for you?
Sure.
We'd like to take this TV and download the Fox Local app on it, and we're going to pay for your television.
I know.
Under the search menu, we're finding something called Fox Local.
Thank you, Fox 35 and Fox Local for my new TV.
And you could be next.
Help us make a difference. Saturday, April 13th at the Southeastern Guide Dogs Walkathon.
All right, 6:14, caught on camera, a deer trying to make a quick buck crashing through the front of a bank window. This happened in Lockhart, Texas. Now, it took police and animal control about 20 minutes to get the animal out. It's not easy to do that. Thankfully, there were no injuries, just some traumatic video right there. He's like, all right, I'm good. Got my money, I'm taking off. Well, heavy winds in Kentucky swept people off their feet. This video showing a college student. He is in that mess somewhere there at the University of Kentucky. Look at that, students rushing to buildings for safety. This was during a tornado warning. The school eventually canceled class for the day. Wind gusts in the area reportedly more than 40 miles an hour. That looks more than that, though, Brooks.
Yeah, we need a follow-up on that, guys, because you don't see what happens after. It looks like he's about to bump the back of his head. I mean, that could be like, what happened to the dude? It looks like a Charlie Chaplin movie or something from the 30s when they had the big fans, like the slapstick comedy, physical comedy, but not funny because obviously that's severe weather. All right, we've got a Fox 35 storm alert day here for this afternoon. 60+ mile-per-hour gusts. It probably will not look like it did there in Kentucky. Those were some big-time thunderstorms, but we could have some punchy ones this afternoon in Ocala between noon and 2 and in Orlando between 2 and 5. And that's going to have impacts on the school pickup this afternoon. If there's thunderstorms present, they may delay release, and also a wet evening commute, if not a really stormy one. Brand new tornado watch issued for the Panhandle until 1 p.m. This includes Dixie County in our Fox 51 viewing area. So heads up, Cross City and Horseshoe Beach, tornadoes are a possibility. Elsewhere, the main threat is straight line, wind gusts over 60 miles per hour, and that does encompass all of our Central Florida location with the exception of Brevard County, where it's possible, but it's not likely. The yellow indicates that it's likely. There's an outside chance of a tornado. It's very marginal, but it can't be ruled out. Obviously, with what's going on the Panhandle and in Georgia with active tornado watches in effect, I got to keep a heads up on that. But there's just not much low-level spin happening that would produce tornadoes. The exception being maybe right along the beach with a little bit of a sea breeze, maybe trying to develop, but even then, we've got a really overwhelming southwest wind. What's going on is that we've got winds of different speeds in the atmosphere, so as you go higher up, the winds pick up, but otherwise, they're pretty much in the same direction, so that doesn't lend for tornado development. But that said, you can get little microphysics that happen from outflow boundaries and all kinds of weather stuff, so outside chance for tornado, I'll leave it at that. But yeah, we've got a line of storms from Midlands to South Carolina, all the way south toward the Panhandle. Earlier, tornado warning in Panama City Beach. Now a severe thunderstorm warning heading toward the east of Port St. Joe. Look at this traffic camera. This is on I-10 in Marianna, Florida. This is in Jackson County, and it's a good example of what's going on right now. We've got winds shaking the camera, lightning flashing. You can see that. Notice how there's not much traffic, but traffic is moving along, and the rain is pouring down. I've been watching these cameras all morning long as these storms progress to get a preview of what's coming our way this afternoon. We may see similar pictures for our evening commute. Stay with the Fox 35 Storm Team all day long for the latest. We've got you fully covered. So windy weather today, 80% chance for rain. It'll be a fine morning if you're going to the theme parks or doing anything outside. It's just this afternoon. All bets are off. And then a beautiful stretch of weather to follow with low humidity and one of the last truly beautiful weather patterns until the inevitable humidity rolls in, likely later on this month. All right, let's take a look at our Sky Fox traffic with Jessica Dobson. Hopefully that's a little quieter than the weather today.
Yeah, it is. So, excuse me, I think my voice is truly still waking up this morning. That or or the pollen still really bad, which is both of those things are probably true. In terms of our sky fogs, we can see that sky fox is over I-4 right now, and it looks like traffic flowing mostly smooth at this point, and we are continuing to track, of course, Champions Gate, which is a normal slowdown we usually have this time of day. 417 northbound if you're heading from State Road 408 to Red Bug Lake Road. We're looking at a good commute time, about 7 minutes. Colonial Drive to State Road 414, about a 7-minute commute there on 429. And if you're on the 528 heading from Cocoa to OIA, about a 30-minute commute for you there. All right, let's get a check of some of the gas prices for you this morning. Pump Patrol, $3.35. That's pretty good at the Circle K, a lot better than what we've been dealing with in Orlando. This is at Good Homes Road and White Road. If you want to see more good deals on gas prices, head to our website, fox35orlando.com. All right, Ryan and Danielle, back to you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. 621 still ahead on Good Day Orlando this morning. A plane turns back in the middle of a 6-hour flight. The strange situation that happened on board.
And Costco getting in on the weight loss trend as well. How members will be able to take part in a new monthly program. We've got those details and much more. Stick with us on Good Day Orlando.
Friday. We do want to welcome you back. An Alaska Airlines flight is forced to turn around because of flooding. The plane was traveling from Honolulu to Anchorage when the bathroom actually started to flood. That would be scary in the skies, right? Passengers were about 90 minutes into their 6-hour flight when the captain decided to turn things around. Officials say the bathroom sink malfunctioned, and that is what caused the flood.
Maybe they should keep some towels on board.
I think they had a few there.
Paper towels didn't help a lot. Well, Costco is expanding its weight loss management space. The big box store, along with its healthcare partners, going to offer U.S. members access to a weight loss program. The service will cost $179 every 3 months. It does include video appointments, prescriptions for drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy as well. Nutrition and exercise advice would also be included. All right, much more is still ahead as we're just warming up on Good Day Orlando this morning.
Just getting started. So here's what we're working on for the 6:30 half hour of the show. We're learning more about the city of Orlando's plan to annex over 6,000 acres in eastern Orange County, why the county argues the city should wait.
At a dream cruise, boy, it turned into a nightmare. A woman traveling abroad alone when she suffered a stroke. Her family had no idea.
It's really hard to experience that she was helpless, that she was alone.
It got a very strong message to other families in a similar situation. This story will surprise you. We do want to check back in with Amanda McKenzie following some really tough breaking news this morning. Amanda, good morning.
An overnight apartment fire claims the life of a child and displaces more than a dozen families. I'll have a live report coming up.
Central Florida Eats is now streaming on Fox Local. Go inside new restaurants and see what's cooking. Just download Fox Local now.
Fox 35 Beach and Surf Report brought to you by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Good Day Orlando starts now with a storm alert.
And right now at 6:30, a child is killed in an apartment fire. This was in Seminole County. A number of families left without a place to call home. We're going to take you live to the scene with the very latest from investigators.
Plus, this is, of course, a Fox 35 Storm Alert Day today. We could see strong storms this afternoon. How that could impact kids as they head home from school. Lots of jackets and umbrellas as they head out the door today. Probably is a good idea. Good morning to you, Central Florida. It certainly is good to see you as always. This morning, I'm Danielle Knotts.
Danielle, good morning.
Hey,
I'm Ryan Elijah. I hope your day is off to a good start. Maybe getting that final cup of coffee before heading out this morning. And Brooks, it's one of those days you need to keep an eye, especially maybe on the drive home today.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 60-plus mile-per-hour gusts. We can see wind gusts over 60 miles an hour in thunderstorms. That's why it's a Fox 35 Storm Alert Day. The timing for Ocala between noon and 2, and for Orlando between 2 and 5. That means as you're picking the kids up from school, there may be delayed releases if there's lightning present in the area, and it's likely that we're going to have a wet evening commute. It even could be a one featuring active downpours. Just in, we've got a brand new tornado watch issued for the Panhandle, including Dixie County, which is in our Fox 51 viewing area, including Cross City and Horseshoe Beach. Tornado watches may be extended across the I-10 corridor later this afternoon, but for the most part, we're facing a straight line wind gust threat. In yellow, severe storms are likely. That includes our entire viewing area, with the exception of southern Brevard and southeastern Osceola counties, where it's possible but not necessarily likely. And we're going to see isolated to scattered storms developing. Now, there is an outside chance, a little tiny chance for tornado. Can't be ruled out across our region, so we're going to watch out for that as well. And here's what's going on. We've got a line of storms moving through. Most of the energy from these storms staying north of our area, but you can see it has been quite an active morning across the region. And in fact, in the Panhandle right now, severe thunderstorms making for a really rough go of things along the I-10 corridor. This is a live view. Look at this traffic camera up on I-10 and Grand Ridge. The wind ripping across the highway there. You can see the waves of rain, the camera shaking, constant lightning here. This is the kind of weather we're going to face here later this afternoon and this evening. Coming up, I'll show you the latest future radar so you can plan your afternoon accordingly. Plus, we'll look ahead to a much better forecast as we head toward the weekend. All right, first off, let's take a look at our Skyfox traffic. We'll look at our local roads with Jessica Dobson.
Yeah, hopefully it's not going to look like that later today, but I have a bad feeling the morning or the afternoon commute is going to be a really dicey one. But we want to show you a live view. This is Skyfox flying over I-4 Champions Gate. Yeah, not good. This almost looks like LA traffic compared to what we would see in Florida. So keep that in mind. If you're traveling from Champions Gate, you're likely going to run into some pretty bad delays. And here's another view of some of our traffic cameras. You can see a lot of red there. And this is actually going to be just beyond Champions Gate, a little bit further to the south and west. So if you're traveling eastbound heading towards Champions Gate, or if you haven't quite made it to Champions Gate, if you are past that, you're going to likely run into some significant delays there. But once you get past that, you're going to be in better shape in terms of those drive times heading towards downtown. You're still looking at about a 30-minute commute there. We'll, of course, keep you posted of any sort of incidents or other delays throughout the morning. But Ryan and Danielle, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jessica, sounds good. You can depend on Fox 35 to keep you informed. If you've not downloaded the Fox 35 Storm Team weather app, certainly a good time to do that. It's going to give you live radar and hour-by-hour forecasts.
Well, breaking overnight, a child is dead in an apartment fire in Seminole County. Officials confirming the tragic news to Fox 35 just about 3 o'clock this morning. Now, we want to go ahead and show you where this fire happened in Seminole County. It is just north of Ballard Street and east of Maitland Avenue in Altamont Springs, not too far from the mall. 5 now and developing this morning, a battle over land in Orange County.
Yeah, we told you before, the Orlando City Council, they want to expand eastward. They voted on that, but Morgan Parrish is live in Orange County, where some Orange County leaders there, they want the city to hold off. We'll call it a land dispute here. Morgan, good morning.
Hey, good morning. That's right. Yeah, so this is just phase 1 of the project, and that's the big debate right now going on between the city and the county, because the county says that they should have annexed both parts of the land at once, and now there's going to have to be a phase 2. So phase 2 of annexation is another 5,000 acres south of the Beachline Expressway. And the county also says that the city did not alert the county in a way that Florida law says it should have, and that could invalidate the annexation. Now, the city said that it's trying to attract innovation companies because of the proximity to the Space Coast and the airport. And also a spokesperson with Orange County said that right now they're waiting to see if the Board of County Commissioners will challenge annexation. So, of course, we're going to wait to hear that update as well. For now, reporting live in Orange County, I'm Morgan Parrish, Fox 35 News.
Danielle, thanks. Officials say this case significant as a case in Texas marks the first time someone has caught bird flu from a mammal. Now, the Texas Department of Health saying that they should not be any fear at this point. Experts say bird flu has been spreading among more animal species over the last 4 years. More recently, the disease has been detected in dairy cows in Texas, Kansas, Idaho, New Mexico, and the state of Michigan.
Well, still ahead on Good Day Orlando this morning, the federal government is mandating changes for railroads to improve railway safety.
And there's a little pushback from them on one rule as well that they're not happy about. We'll talk about that. Plus, a group of thieves messed with the wrong guy, how the victim fought back and used a weed whacker. We're going to talk about that.
And before we go to break, Rosemarie Lawson drove down to the studio yesterday from Ocala. Rosemarie won a 4-pack of tickets to Universal Orlando Resort just by watching Good Day Orlando. And she told Ryan and Brooks that she watches every single morning, and she says she's going to take her friend Dorothy and Dorothy's grandson to the park. Rosemarie, have an awful lot of fun out there at the theme park, and thank you so much for watching.
It's great to meet her
here on Good Day Orlando. Wasn't she lovely?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Today is a Fox 35 Storm Alert Day. I'm expecting this line of storms to bring high winds, frequent lightning, even an isolated tornado to the region just as the kids are getting out of school or you're heading home from work. For continuing updates, depend on the Fox 35 Storm Team.
Good Day Orlando Extra, streaming weekdays at 10 on Fox Local.
Brooks, Amy, Danielle, and Ryan, every single morning, they are part of my daily routine.
Watch Good Day Orlando weekday mornings.
Well, a close call for a yard worker in Texas. So he spotted a group of people stealing his equipment on Saturday. The suspects tried to speed off, even swerving toward the worker with one of their cars. Video shows the worker eventually here throwing the weed whacker at the car, knocking a suspect out of the window. The worker then chases that person around with the weed whacker. You're going to see that here in a little bit until the suspect runs. Right here, he's chasing him with the weed whacker. He was eventually, the suspect, tracked down to the hospital and arrested. They're looking for more suspects. Bizarre scene for sure. Again, that near Houston, Texas. Well, there's a new rule for the railroad industry. It's aimed at bolstering railway safety, but it's getting a little pushback.
Well, this comes in the wake of train derailments across the country. This rule requires all railroads to be manned by at least 2 crew members.
Before this rule, railroads could run one-person crew operations without performing a rigorous risk assessment, mitigating known risks, or even notifying FRA.
The head of the Association of American Railroads disagrees with the change, arguing there is no evidence to back it up. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg responded with this.
I don't know what problem the railroads could possibly hope to solve by reducing it to 1, other than to take their profits from ridiculous to stupendously ridiculous.
Buttigieg is also calling on Congress to improve the railroad industry via the Bipartisan Railway Safety Act. It's currently stalled in the Senate. It is 6:44. Nothing stalling about our weather other than the fact that it's starting off a beautiful morning, but it's not going to end up a beautiful afternoon.
60-mile-per-hour gust today, a Fox 35 storm alert day. The timing today, Ocala from noon to 2 and in Orlando from 2 to 5. So it's going to be a beautiful morning, warm, muggy, windy. All good for outdoor activities, theme parks, but this afternoon you got to be weather aware because we've got some big weather coming in. Now this morning there's a tornado watch across the Panhandle, including Dixie County with Cross City and Horseshoe Beach until 1 o'clock. We may see these extended eastward across the I-10 corridor, but I don't expect them necessarily to be dropped all the way south toward Orlando. Though we do have a severe storm chance. It's likely in the yellow. The main mode of severity will be what are called straight line wind gusts, where it goes from point A to point B. It blows across the landscape. That can still take down some limbs and knock out power, but it's not necessarily going to be tornadoes. That said, there is an outside chance. It's not a 0% chance. It's a less than 5% chance of 1 or 2 tornadoes. Got to track that potential across the region as well this afternoon. Line of storms extending from the Carolinas southward into peanut country here across southwest Georgia, Albany, into our Panhandle, where there are active severe thunderstorm warnings and even a couple of tornado warnings. Big weather also pushing across I-10 and heading up toward Tallahassee at this time. So we've got a lot of rain on the way. It is 73 right now in downtown Orlando. And we've got temperatures hovering in the low 70s region-wide. It's also windy. Winds gusting currently at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. So windy and arguably kind of wild today. 85 degrees the high. Tomorrow, beautiful, mid-70s. A slow recovery back to the 80s for early next week. Humidity staying low. Absolutely delightful weather. If you're here on vacation, you picked a great week, except for this afternoon. We're gonna stay on, Jessica. Of course, you and I and the storm team tracking these storms very carefully all day long, but we're also tracking the traffic, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we'll be here all day. We'll be watching the radar and the trends really closely. But in terms of our traffic trends, we're starting to see some backups on I-4. This is heading into downtown Orlando. This is from our Lake Mary tower cam, where you can see this is where we typically see some backups, but it's really beginning to build up. I feel like a little ahead of schedule. So if you're traveling near Lake Mary, if you're hopping on I-4, go ahead and budget an extra couple of minutes in your drive time there, and give yourself, I would say, at least an extra 5 to 10 minutes as you're stepping outside as these delays continue to build. But so far, if you're traveling from Cocoa to OIA, if you're traveling to the airport, about 30-minute commute there. Winter Garden to OIA along the Florida Turnpike southbound, about a 24-minute drive there. And then from Lake Mary to OIA, if you're traveling on 417, you're going to see a better bet there in terms of traveling on the 417 rather than I-4. You're looking at about a 30-minute commute along the 417 southbound. All right, Ryan and Danielle, so we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jessica, sounds good. Next up on this Wednesday edition of Good Day Orlando, one of the strictest laws against hate speech in the world is now in effect. How it's bringing a controversial author back into the spotlight.
Well, there's so much more headed your way this morning right here on Good Day Orlando. So here's Amy now with a preview of what you can expect ahead at 7. Amy, good morning.
Good morning, Danielle. Child has died. Many families without a home after an early morning fire tore through an apartment building in Seminole County. So coming up in our next hour, we're going to take you there live as they continue their investigation. And the solar eclipse coming on Monday. We are not in the path of totality, but it's still going to be a show as long as the weather cooperates. So coming up, we're going to chat live with a NASA expert about what you will be able to see. It's all coming up in our next hour. Don't go away.